The Open Wetlab is going to be an open laboratory where people can use open source practices to develop new applications of biotechnology, both in a technological or societal context. On the 21st of June we're going to open this lab, officially open it. And from then on everybody's welcome to experiment and do hands-on workshops on biological engineering.
And what is happening here is that there are people who are saying, well, we don't need this big institutions, we're trying to start something else. We're going to start a revolution by making things that used to be something that you had no access to. And that's what I like, and that's why I'm proud to do something here, to open it. And I'm going to perform a ritual of which I don't understand anything.
Start it.
Whoa!
The figure of yeast, choose yeast, as a symbol work in the world. Because yeast or leaven is seen as a symbol of evil. It's like yeast, a symbol of evil. Well, it's a substance that's in a state of fermentation, and fermentation implies disintegration and corruption as unclean and contaminating, as representative of corruption.
So we've been working for 2 days now on a project called Amsterdam Yeast, which is an extension, sort of an international project where I travel to cities all over the world and teach people the techniques for creating their own environment to collect yeast from their local ecology. So what we did is, after we made those soups, we went and we swabbed different surfaces in the city of Amsterdam, and we dragged those swabs just across the surface of the dextrose. And within 12 hours, we already have full blooming yeast collections. I think one of the beautiful things that's happening here at the Waag is that for years they've become a really amazing site to display and to distribute bioart projects. But now you have an amazing opportunity here in Amsterdam to do the research and to do the projects here live. And it's outside of a larger institution. And because of that, that means that some of the rules are a little more relaxed. This is a little bit more like a kitchen, a community kitchen, than working in a very large institutional space like I do.
We gaan nu biertjes stappen voor de opening van de Waag. We hebben bier gemaakt, Sander heeft bier gemaakt.
Dit is het resultaat. Ja, het is beschikbaar voor alle gasten van dit evenement.
Maar zou je het zelf drinken eigenlijk?
Ja,
heel graag.
Natuurlijk.
Ja. Lekker, ja.
Ik heb het ook al gedronken. De helft van de mout die we gebruikt hebben is genetisch gemodificeerd. Wat ik geleerd heb is dat het eigenlijk niet voor menselijke consumptie hoort te zijn, maar ik denk dat met een glas of 2 dat het wel mee zal vallen. Want de mais is niet het hoofdbestanddeel van dit bier. En ik weet natuurlijk niet precies waar het vandaan komt en wat er met de granen gebeurd is voordat het in die zak terecht komt. Precies, dat wel aardig om uit te zoeken. Dan valt er ook wat meer over te zeggen wat er mee aan de hand kan zijn en of het goed voor je is of niet.
Krijg je nou van oliepoes minder scheten?
Minder?
Scheten?
Ja, sommige mensen zeggen dat door gist komt. Dat je dat je stoel gewoon nogal bevordert. Ik heb geen idee.
Ik denk dat oliepoes meer scheten gaat laten. We hebben namelijk al ons bier zit nagissing op de fles. Dus je krijgt sowieso wel het gist binnen, maar wat ik eigenlijk heb geleerd is dat er heel veel vitamine B in zit, dat het heel gezond is voor je gist. En een scheetje hier en daar, dat is volgens mij ook wel gezond om te laten. Dus ik denk dat het gewoon...
Ja. Wil je zelf geen dorst?
Ja, dat is misschien.
Heb je hem al geproefd? Waarom Wetlab dat aan ons heeft gevraagd? Nou ja, waarom hebben ze ons gevraagd om met dat ingrediënt een bier te brouwen? Maar ze hebben gevraagd om met meer dan dat bier te brouwen natuurlijk. Er zat veel meer in dan alleen die mais. Ik zal je eerlijk zeggen dat ik me daar niet in zodanig in heb verdiept in die vraag. Dus het is redelijk gênant. Ja, het is volgens mij wel een redelijk omstreden product. En in die zin heb ik er niet een soort van politieke... Ik heb me er niet zodanig in verdiept dat ik de politieke betekenis daarachter of het politieke doel erachter ken. Nee. Dus nee, ik weet niet waarom. Ik ken de vraag achter de vraag niet, maar ik weet wel dat je er bier van kan maken.
We asked a do-it-yourself brewery, Oedipus, in the back to brew this for us. And it is bloody tasty.
So for all of you, there is beer at the back. The same GMO beer. It tastes lovely and made of GMO corn, but you will stay the same, I guess. Our element also left as a normal person, so I don't think anything will happen. Thank you very much for attending on the wet lab and the beer.
Right now I am sober and healthy, well, relatively healthy, as much as you can understand what health is. We will see in a few hours. This is my first one. I'm more than halfway through it, and we are trying to see if it will not give me a hangover.
I'll try a little bit. Let's see if you transform it.
Whoa, and then I give it to you because you are the only one who understood what's happened.
That the rest of the world is eating GMOs is more or less because of an American lobby and about false assumptions by the Food and Drug Administration of the States. So,
looking at GMO from only one perspective, and as all types of GMO is the same thing, I think that's too simplified, and it's really a debate that needs to be broadened. But saying that all GMO is the same and saying that GMO is either bad or either good by default is too simple. I think as any other project, the content should be written.
Being held hostage by law, by GMO laws.
To make some cultivations yourself. Thank you very much for being here. And
number one, I like beer.
one more message. At 8:30, we'll have the world premiere of a film made by artist Sotochanet. It's called BioARTCAMP.
So we are here today to celebrate this whole do-it-yourself concept. That we want to have access to the technology. We want to be responsible. If you can't own it, if you don't open it, you can't own it. We just heard that Fairphone went over the 10,000 sold phones, which is also a movement like we are going to make our own phone. We can make everything. We even can start a bank. So we also open a bank, the Time Bank Amsterdam. It is all about us being not a consumer but a maker. So
we think it's very important to bring designers, artists and politicians, scientists together to have all those kinds of expertise to work together to think about what the design of life should be, as life sciences is getting more and more influence on what we eat, what we have as medical treatments, etc., etc. So we need this inclusion of all stakeholders and the public, and we do that with artists like Jennifer Willet, we do that with designers like Mike and Susanna, we do that with Peter, we do that with the audience in several kinds of workshops that are always touching those subjects.
With this opening up of the lab, opening up of skills and tools, people can really take it into their own hands and also think of solutions that they need, they want. Don't let it be done by big corporations, but really start with yourself and then look at what you need and then build it yourself. Just judging by the amount of people that are becoming a member of our online meetup group, yeah, you can clearly see a very steep inclining curve. So yeah, we're really at the beginning.
So the projects that we are currently setting up, we are having kind of an indoor farming society, cultivating plants, looking at wavelengths, nutritions, can you grow indoor, and doing that in collaboration with universities. Another kind of more hands-on project we're setting up is kind of more environmental, water treatment, water quality. So we're testing the water at Roskilde Festival. So there's this huge music festival and we're testing their water infrastructure and the water. There is a lake there that people are swimming in. So we'll monitor the water quality over the week and let the participants in the festival do this themselves.
Well, as a kind of token of this open source collaboration, I brought a present.
It's a good kind of to bring something here as well. And this is a spectrophotometer, so used to measure cultivations. You can measure the density of a yeast culture or bacterial culture and various other things. And it's kind of a spare one.
Thank you very much. Making it yourself. That if someone that is a complete layperson in science can make their own scientific instruments and do a measurement, this demystifies it. So the authority of science that was communicated both by science and by public media for 200 years can be kind of, the churches can fall apart. And I've been with the Hectaria project. I've been traveling around a lot and doing workshops in many places, and about 2 years ago I did a first hackathon nano-schmano laboratory in Ljubljana and somehow got stuck. And so I'm working now together with the Kapelica Gallery, and we started a new bio-art production, bio community lab called Biotechnology. So I was invited to help them setting up the space and bringing community together to work on biology in a kind of cultural context. And we had already our second opening last week. And with the Hectaria network anyway, we travel a lot and we do a lot of workshops in different places, so it's about mobility. In the last 2 weeks we did a mobile labs hackathon, bringing people together from, so in the biotechnology lab we invited a bunch of people to work not on an infrastructure lab like this, but on a mobile lab.
Biopolitics is being sort of altered in a way, because the do-it-yourself technology and the DWO technology in a way enables a great variety of artists, even children, to work with technologies which were unimaginable even 5 or 10 years ago. So even now you have biotech art kits, like biotech kits, which you can buy for $50 in pharmacies, and you can really work professionally or semi-professionally with them. So this is the liberating aspect, an aspect that prevents biopolitics of fully dominating biotechnology, of fully inserting itself over society. So as I see biopolitics trying, or governments trying to control via the means of biotechnology the population, I also see this liberating, revolutionizing aspect, which and one of the ways of how that is enabled is through these do-it-yourself kits, which are being sold online or being sold in pharmacies.
Heb je nog wat bier over?
Ja, ik geloof dat er nog een paar flesjes achter staan. Maar wij zijn niet helemaal leeg. Half uurtje was op.
The figure of yeast. Choose yeast as a symbol work in the world. Because yeast or leaven is seen as a symbol of evil. It's like yeast, a symbol of evil. Well, it's a substance that's in a state of fermentation, and fermentation implies disintegration and corruption as unclean and contaminating, as representative of corruption.